Hello guys, welcome back to our channel Mo and Ash Vibes. In our today's video, we are going to talk about the NOC changes that are going to take place in the year 2022. And also we are going to talk about that how these changes will affect the express entry programs and their eligibility criteria. But before we begin, if you are new to this channel, then don't forget to subscribe to our channel, because over here we talk about the informative and important videos that are related to Canadian immigration and IELTS education that are going to be really helpful for you. Now let's get straight to the important update. We all know that many immigration programs uses NOC codes to determine your skill level and type in the immigration process. And currently we are using NOC 2016 that represents NOC O, A, B, C and D to determine your skill level. However, on November 16, 2022, Canadian immigration is switching to the 2021 version of the NOC. The NOC system will be replaced with the tier system. The tier represents training, education, experience and responsibilities. It is a 6-category system, and as we know that earlier we used to use the 4-digit occupation codes, but now 5-digit occupation codes will be used. So skill O category will represent tier 0, skill A category will represent tier 1, skill B category will represent tier 2 and tier 3, skill C category will represent tier 4, and skill D category will represent tier 5. Now most jobs will stay in the tier category that is equal to the skill level that I've just mentioned to you, but some jobs may change to a different tier category. For example, skill level B jobs may fall under tier 2 category or tier 3 category. So it is very important that you check your occupation according to the new NOC 2021 list and see where exactly your occupation falls. So which tier category your occupation belongs to. Just like NOC codes, different tier categories represent different occupation types. So now let's talk about different tier categories, the occupation types that belong to those tier categories, as well as some of the examples of the jobs. So tier 0 represents management occupations, so managerial roles. So the examples of the jobs would be advertising managers, marketing and public relations managers, financial managers. Tier 1 represents occupations that usually require a university degree. So the examples of the jobs would include financial advisors, software engineers. Tier 2 represents occupations that usually require a college diploma, apprenticeship training of 2 or more years, or a supervisory occupations. So the examples of the jobs would be computer network and web technicians, medical laboratory technologists. Tier 3 represents occupations that usually require a college diploma, apprenticeship training of less than 2 years, or more than 6 months of on-the-job training. So that would include bakers, dental assistants and dental laboratory assistants. Tier 4 represents occupations that usually require a high school diploma or several weeks of on-the-job training. So that would include home childcare providers, retail salespersons and visual merchandisers. Tier 5 includes occupation that usually needs short-term work demonstration and no formal education. So that would include landscaping and grounds maintenance laborers, delivery service drivers and door-to-door distributors. These are just some of the examples of some of the jobs that belong to different tier categories. This is not the whole list. In order to check your occupation type, you must refer to the NOC 2021 list and check which category or which tier category your job occupation falls under. Because of this change, there has been an update in the eligibility criteria for the different express entry programs as well. So now let's talk about the updated eligibility criteria for the different express entry programs. So the first eligibility criteria is the language skills. Now for the express entry programs, you definitely need English or French skills. So if you are applying under Canadian experience class and if your occupation falls under tier 0 or tier 1, then you need CLB 7 for that. But if your occupation falls under tier 2 or tier 3, then you need CLB 5 for that. In case of federal skilled worker program, you need CLB 7. For federal skilled trade programs, you need CLB 5 for speaking and listening, and you need CLB 4 for reading and writing. Now let's talk about the next eligibility criteria, which is the type or level of work experience. So if you are applying under Canadian experience class category, then you need Canadian work experience in an occupation that falls under tier 0, tier 1, tier 2 or tier 3. If you're applying under federal skilled worker program, then you need work experience in an occupation that falls under tier 0, tier 1, tier 2 or tier 3. And if you're applying under federal skilled trades program, then you need work experience in a skilled trade under key groups of tier 2 or tier 3. And that list you can see on your screens. The next eligibility criteria is the amount of work experience. So if you're applying under Canadian experience class category, then you need at least 1 year of work experience in Canada in the last 3 years. It could be a combination of full-time or part-time work. If you're applying under federal skilled worker program category, then you require at least 1 year of continuous work experience within the last 10 years, and this could be a combination of part-time, full-time, or it could also be more than one job in your primary occupation. If you're applying under federal skilled trade program category, then you need at least 2 years of work experience within the last 5 years. Again, this could be either combination of full-time or part-time work. Next eligibility criteria is your job offer. If you're applying under Canadian experience class, job offer is not required. For federal skilled worker program, also job offer is not required, but obviously if you will have a job offer, that will help you getting more points, so that is obviously good, but it is not required. However, if you are applying under federal skilled trade program, then you require a valid job offer of full-time employment for a total period of at least 1 year, or a certificate of qualification in that skilled trade issued by a Canadian provincial, territorial or federal authority. As far as your education is concerned, for Canadian experience class, no education is required. For federal skilled worker program, secondary education is required. You can get more selection points for your post-secondary education. And again, for federal skilled trade program, no education is required. So this was the updated NOC 2021 eligibility criteria for the different express entry programs. So if you're planning to submit an express entry profile, your express entry profile on November 16th or after that, then make sure that you're taking care of these things. Make sure that you are checking your occupation type according to the new tier system. So this was our today's quick video, a quick update on the NOC changes that are going to take place this year and how it is going to affect the eligibility criteria of different express entry programs and how it may affect you. If you still have any more questions related to our today's video, feel free to comment in the section below and I will reply to you as soon as possible. Now I will see you in our next video. Until next time, ta-da!